Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Tracy in LA, the podcast, episode 35. Look at this microphone. It is my new DJI mic version 2. Thanks again to those of you that helped contribute to me being able to purchase these. I'm no longer borrowing my roommates. Also today, I remembered the poofs that go on top, so that should help. Last week's episode, it was okay. Hopefully it didn't bother anyone too much, but I re-listened to it and I was bothered by all the noises. So I'm hoping that having the poof back will help this time. And let me just tell you, I did listen to my podcast from last week. I don't always listen to them because I spend so much time editing them, and obviously I do them. So I was here when it happened. I don't need to listen to them, and I usually don't want to listen to them. I want to listen to another podcast or music or talk on the phone or do something else in my car. But sometimes when someone tells me that they liked it a lot or tells me certain parts about it that they liked, it sort of makes me want to re-listen to it and think about it from their perspective, like what were they thinking when they were listening to it. So that sort of happened to me the other day where I sort of like wanted to listen to it for some reason, and I was just stretching and doing exercise and dance stuff in my room, so I put it on in my headphones, and let me just tell you, the not having the poof did bother me, and it was annoying to hear like all the extra breathiness because of that. But the content, I was like, dang, I needed to hear this right now. It's so crazy because I was the one that said it. I was the one that recorded it, not much earlier. Like I shot it like a week before that. But when I was listening to it, I was like, oh man, this is encouraging to me. I really needed to hear this. So I just want to tell you guys that if you ever think that I'm like preaching at you or telling you how you should live your life or something, I really just think mostly what I talk about is what God is trying to tell me to do, what God is teaching me, because when I listen to it later, I'm like, oh, I think I was the one that needed to hear this. I think I said this last time or the time before that maybe I'm just doing these just for my own sanity, because when I do these, I feel like God speaks to me through them. And even while I'm doing them, I feel more encouraged than before I started it, because oftentimes I talk about things I didn't even plan on talking about. And I feel like the Holy Spirit just led me to talk about it. And really it was to encourage me. And hopefully it's encouraging other people too. But it was just funny that I listened to my own podcast and was like, oh, wow, I really needed to hear that. It just kind of made me laugh. I don't always listen to it. I usually don't. I usually don't want to. I usually don't even have a desire to. I'm like, oh, no, like enough of myself talking. Like I need to listen to somebody else, you know? But it was just funny. I had a moment of that a few days ago or something. Okay, random, but does anybody know who this belongs to? It's this, if you're watching this on video, on YouTube or Spotify video, it is this really fancy, cool, I think it's a Kleenex holder, like a Kleenex pouch for a purse. It kind of matches my water bottle. Let me show you. So I kind of think it's cool, but I really wasn't trying to steal it, but I accidentally stole this. So if anybody knows whose this is, I would love to give it back to them. What happened was I went to my friend's dance show and I got there a little bit early, and parking was so much easier than expected. So I was sitting in my car for a little bit, just like on my phone. But a couple other people that were probably also going to the show were walking past my car, and I just happened to notice them walking past my car. And I thought I recognized one of the girls, so I was trying to figure out if that was who I thought it was. And so I was like kind of just like looking at them as they were walking, as their backs were towards me. And the one girl who was the friend of the girl that I thought I knew dropped stuff out of her purse, and she like was picking it all up, but then she forgot something. I saw that there was one thing she didn't pick up out of her purse, and I was like, what is that? And I was literally thinking in my head, girl, get that. You didn't pick up everything that fell out of your purse. There's something still on the sidewalk. But they were kind of far ahead of where I was parked, and they just kept walking pretty fast, and I wasn't really ready to like go in yet. I probably should have just like jumped out of my car and been like, hey, you forgot something. That's probably what I should have done. But that's not what I did, because I wanted to sit in my car for a few more minutes. So I really just looked at them, try to figure out what they looked like from the back, to be like, okay, I'm going to pick that up, whatever that is, and I'm going to give it back to this girl when I see her at the show. I'll probably see her sitting in the audience or something. So I didn't even know what it was. I was like, hopefully it's not important. Hopefully it wasn't like money or something. I mean, I'd love to get me some money, but I wasn't trying to steal anybody's stuff. I was trying to give it back to them. Anyway, so I get out of my car, look at what she dropped, and it was this, like, interesting. It had Kleenex in it. I have taken the Kleenex out since then because it just felt weird to me to, like, have that in my purse because I've been carrying this around now. But it's just, like, this cute little Kleenex pouch, you know? It's not like she probably absolutely has to have this with her always, but she's probably looking for it. I mean, maybe the show made her cry in a good way, and maybe she couldn't find her Kleenex pouch during the show. I don't know. Anyways, I sat near these girls who I actually thought one of them maybe was the one that dropped it. I only really saw them from behind, and I think the one girl, I think she had long blonde hair. I'm not sure. Sometimes I'm really bad visually with details, and sometimes I'll be like, yeah, they have glasses, and they, like, totally don't have glasses. Like, things like that, sometimes I really get them wrong. But I thought she had long blonde hair, and there was a girl sitting near me that I didn't know that had long blonde hair, and so I was like, maybe it was her. So I did ask her before the show started if this was hers or if she knew whose it was. She said no. I kind of told her and her friend the story of, you know, someone dropped this. I'm trying to find whose it is. I told a few other people too. And they were like, oh yeah, this was before the show started. We were all outside, like, waiting. And so my other friends were like, yeah, let's figure out who it is. And, like, this one girl thought it was, like, funny. She's like, yeah, let's figure out what did they look like. But I really didn't see who I thought it was. I didn't see them anywhere. And so the show was starting. I was like, dang, I still have this, like, random Kleenex pouch. And then I planned to look for the person during intermission, but I completely forgot about it. And then I think I told you guys last time that a girl I hadn't seen in a long time recognized me and came over to talk to me during intermission, and we were talking the whole time. And so definitely forgot all about the Kleenex pouch. Definitely didn't remember until I got home. And then I was like, well, here we are. I mean, it kind of matches my water bottle. It's kind of cool. Like, I guess I'll use it as a Kleenex pouch, but I literally wasn't trying to steal it. So if anyone knows, to describe it, if you're just listening right now, it's like a brown and gold. That's why it's kind of cool, because it matches my water bottle. But it's like this brown and gold fabric thing that can go in a purse, and it doesn't have a zipper or anything. It's just, that's why I think it really might only be for Kleenexes, because it wouldn't really contain anything. Like, it would fall out, but it just kind of can hold something. It doesn't have a zipper. So yeah, it's like a Kleenex pouch. I think that really is what it is. I've never heard of a reusable fabric Kleenex pouch before. But apparently they exist, and this is it, and now I have one, and because I accidentally stole it. Anyway, you know, I accidentally steal things maybe more often than the normal person. But I swear it was coming from, like, a heart of wanting to help this person and give her what she dropped. But what I really should have done was just get out of my car and not be lazy, and I should have got out of my car before they walked too far ahead. But okay, next time that happens, I don't know if that type of thing will exactly happen again, but if it happens again, I will get out of my car faster. So that was a lesson I learned. If this is your Kleenex pouch, please let me know. I will get it back to you. Okay, that was the only announcement we had for today. Now, on to the updates. Let's see. It is Sunday today. The last 2 Sundays, I did a really good job of taking a Sabbath and not doing any work on Sundays. This is part of my work, doing this podcast. I don't know if you guys realize that, but this is part of my work. And I don't like to shoot it on Sundays because I like to take a rest on Sundays. But we are doing it today because I was going to do it yesterday. I had stuff going on during the day. I was going to do it later in the afternoon. But I had a migraine for 2 days. It's a lot better right now. Yesterday was the second day of it. I didn't have sugar, but sometimes I do get migraines from other things. Sugar is the only thing that gives me the worst migraines. And I always, like 99.9% of the time, always get a migraine from sugar, and it usually lasts anywhere between 2 days and a week. One time it lasted like 8 days, and they're really, really bad, where I really need my prescription medication that doesn't even always kick in right away or work super well. Advil and Tylenol don't work. There's really kind of nothing that works. I just moan and groan, feeling like I'm going to throw up, need to lay down with ice packs on my head, and it still doesn't feel good. Like, that's how it is. It's awful. This is why I don't eat sugar. Anyways, I can have a migraine sometimes from other things, like if I'm super tired, if I'm super hungry. Like, what I think happened is I might have been a little bit stressed, so stress can trigger it as well. I also was dancing a lot, racing around everywhere, and I don't think I was eating enough protein or drinking enough water. So it's probably a mix of all of that. Maybe I didn't have enough fruit. I don't know. But something was triggering this headache, and then it kept getting worse and worse. And then yesterday, 2 days ago, it was pretty bad by the end of the day. I thought it went away in the morning. It was better in the morning, but then it came back. It was really bad yesterday, late in the day. So I was just like, am I really going to shoot this podcast? Like, I have done it before with a migraine, but not a super bad migraine, but I've done it before with a headache, and I can do it. Like, God has helped me before, but It's not my preference. It's really not fun. I don't like doing anything with a headache, honestly. I don't like doing anything with a headache, but yeah, I was like, I don't think this is going to happen. I was still thinking about possibly doing it yesterday, but then, so what happened was I was like, I'm just going to take, like I ate something when I got home and I was like, I'm just going to take a little nap to try to get this headache to go away. I'm going to take a nap for like 20 minutes. Because when I get headaches from other things that aren't sugar, sometimes they can go away pretty fast. So I was like, I just want to get it to go away. I'm just going to take a little nap. So I went to lay down, but it was just like hurting pretty bad. So I'm like, I think I need to get up and like get an ice pack, just get a Ziploc bag, put some ice in it. That's my favorite thing to put on my head when I have a headache. Actual ice packs, they don't like go into the creases and the crevices on like your nose and your eyes like a Ziploc bag with ice in it. So that is what I really like to have on my head when I'm having a headache or a migraine. So I went outside of my room in the house. So I live with my friend and her husband. They're both my friends, a married couple that I live with. And it was kind of funny because the guy was there playing piano, like practicing piano. They both are always practicing piano. And like I should be practicing piano because I want to do piano too, but I don't have time for that right now. Anyways, so he was practicing piano stuff. I came out just for a second quietly just to get my little bag of ice and go back and lay down. And my head was really hurting. So I was trying to just do it quickly and get back to laying down. But right as I'm going out to fill up this bag with ice, I see one of the dogs. So we have, I shouldn't say we. I live there, so it's kind of like my dogs, but it's their dogs. They have 3 really big dogs. And one of them, Pharaoh. I love Pharaoh. I love all of them. Deku, Appa, and Pharaoh. Shout out to you guys. Love you guys if you're listening to the podcast. Ruff, ruff, ruff. Sorry, I had to like translate for them for a second. Anyways, Pharaoh. I love Pharaoh. I think I love Pharaoh the most. I don't mean to have favorites. Favoritism is not from the Lord. There's like a whole chapter in the Bible about like not having favoritism. I don't know if there's a whole chapter about it, but it's in one of the chapters in James that I was trying to memorize. I need to get back to memorizing the Bible, guys, because like I keep starting it and then I keep not doing it. I'm reading the Bible every day, but working on the scriptures and the passages that I'm memorizing has been slipping. So I need to work on that. I have an itch on my nose. So anyway, one of the passages in James, it talks about not showing favoritism. So anyways, I want to try not to do that. But I just love Pharaoh because he's kind of like, he has a lot of problems. I have a lot of compassion for Pharaoh because he struggles. He is the white, fluffy, very sheddy dog who also eats the couch a lot. So like, he's not very marketable. What happened was my roommates had these other 2 dogs already, and they don't have a lot of issues except they're just big dogs and they bark sometimes, but they're very sweet. They're great dogs. And they ended up fostering this other dog, Pharaoh. They were my roommate, the girl, who's my friend, who we've been friends for over 10 years, 15 years maybe. She is very loving to animals, and I don't know that she found the right person that was really going to be as loving to Pharaoh as like she was, or as she and her husband are, or as now I am. Anyways, so they ended up just adopting Pharaoh. But the thing with Pharaoh is like, I think he's just kind of hard to market because he does shed all over the place. He also has seizures sometimes, which I've never had to experience yet, but last time he had a seizure, I just slept through it. They were there, so they took care of it, but I didn't even hear anything, and I guess there was like a big ruckus about it. But sometimes I just sleep through things. I don't know if God just like blesses me with that ability sometimes, sleeping through problems. I don't know. But anyways, he has seizures. He also like slips on the floor. He kind of has an issue with his legs. I don't really remember what it is, but he slips on the wood floor. They have to put like kind of rugs everywhere and stuff because it's sort of hard for him to get up on his back legs. Like they'll just kind of slip and fall, and he'll just kind of like go to like a sitting or a laying down position because it's hard for him to walk on his legs fully regularly sometimes. And then he also just like walks around all the time. It's also hard for him to just like be still. He just keeps walking. It's very interesting. And then he's sort of blind in one eye. So like if you want to give him a treat or give him a carrot, which he loves, or an ice cube. He loves ice cubes. If you just like put it on the floor, he kind of can't find it. You have to like really give it to him, and then your hand gets all slobbery. He's also very slobbery. He drinks a lot of water because he's on a lot of medications, and then he just like slobbers the water like all over the place. He just like puts his whole head into the water. I mean, they have a little thing to help them drink water, like, less crazy that, like, sits in the water, this, like, floating thing. But he still gets all crazy messy when he's drinking water, and then he's, like, slobbering everywhere. And then if he comes up to you, he's, like, slobbers on you. Like, I know I'm not marketing him great right now, but we're not trying to get him adopted. We love him. Anyways, although my roommates did say to me yesterday or today, because I just, like, love Pharaoh so much, they were like, do you think maybe Tracy will adopt Pharaoh? I'm like, if God wants to give me a big house, maybe I will adopt Pharaoh. Like, we don't know what God's going to do for my next living situation, but I do love Pharaoh. Anyways, that's a big backstory for Pharaoh. But basically, I had my migraine yesterday, came out to get a Ziploc bag of ice, and I'm really not paying attention to anything. I'm just going straight to the ice machine. I just want to lay back down. My head hurts. And as I'm walking, I just all of a sudden noticed Pharaoh walking in front of me, and he has all this, like, red speckle stuff on his head. I really didn't think it was blood. It looked kind of like blood, but I was like, maybe he just, like, I don't know, the dogs get into all kinds of things outside, and sometimes my roommates are trying to grow different kinds of fruit and things like that. They try to garden, and then the dogs often, like, get into it and eat it. Like, I heard that they were always eating, like, the blueberry bush and stuff. So I was like, oh, maybe, I don't know why I had this thought, like, maybe he just got into, like, the strawberry plants. Like, they don't have strawberry plants. I don't even know if that's a thing. I really don't know what other red thing it could be besides blood, but for some reason my head was like, that can't be blood. It has to be. It's some kind of fruit or paint. Maybe he got into, like, a paint can or something. Like, I don't know. But immediately, so my roommate's, like, playing the piano, practicing piano, and I'm like, oh, what's up? What's all over Pharaoh? And then he turns around and looks, and he's like, oh, not again. And I'm like, what? And then the way he looked, I was just like, oh my gosh, I think it's blood. And then I get so queasy with blood. It makes me nauseous. I sometimes feel like I'm going to faint or throw up. I do not like blood. And so as soon as I realized, like, I think it really is blood, I didn't know where it was coming from, because I just saw, like, little speckles on his head. It wasn't, like, anything crazy, but it obviously came from somewhere, and I just felt like I didn't want to see where it was coming from. I didn't want to see any more of it. So I'm, like, looking the other way, like, I can't look at him. Meanwhile, my head is, like, hurting too. And I'm like, what is it? What happened again? And he's like, oh, his ear is bleeding. And I'm thinking maybe he has some sort of ear infection issue or something, because he has so many issues. But no, it's just Deku, the other dog, like, chewed his ear or something, because they were playing outside and, like, you know, play fighting or whatever. But sometimes I guess they get a little aggressive, or, like, Pharaoh doesn't have a lot of social cues because he has a lot of issues. So he keeps playing when Deku doesn't want to play anymore. And then Deku just, like, bit his ear, and I guess he's done this before. I don't know. These dogs are, like, really sweet. They, like, don't bite people or anything like that, but they just, like, fight with each other. But usually it's just, like, playful, and I don't ever think it was a big deal. But yeah, I guess he, like, bit his ear, and his ear was, like, split, and there was, like, a ton of blood. I did end up seeing it, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And meanwhile, my head is hurting really bad. And then my roommate's, like, calling his wife, my other roommate, because she wasn't there, and, like, telling her situation. And I'm just standing there with, like, my bag, like, still about to get the ice for my head. And I'm just like, I think I probably need to, like, help with this situation. I'm like, oh, I don't like it. I don't like blood, but I'm going to stand here and figure out, like, how I can help with this, I guess. And it was just crazy because Pharaoh, you know, he would shake his head, and the blood, there was so much blood on his ear, and it was, like, splattering on the cabinets and the refrigerator and the garbage and the dishwasher, and it was, like, on the floor, and my roommate's trying to, like, put some gauze on it or, like, hold it. And then it's, like, a Saturday, so their usual vet isn't open, and they're trying to figure out what, like, urgent care or 24-hour place they can take it to. So I'm just standing there, and I'm still kind of trying not to super look at it, and I'm like, okay, maybe I can find a 24-hour place that's open. So I did help with that. I was Googling on my phone. I did actually find a good place, who was also the place that my roommate, who was not there, the girl, I don't know why I don't say their names. I feel like I say their names on Instagram, so I'm not sure why I don't say their names on here. Maybe I will at some point, but she also was, like, heard from her friend that we should go to this place that I also found online. So at least they found a place to take him, because they're basically like, he's going to have to get stitches. Like, this has happened before. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But he was waiting for her to get home so she could go with him and, like, one of them could hold like something on the ear the whole time. We were trying to tape gauze on the ear, and then I had to hold the bloody ear for a little bit, and I'm like, wow, like, I don't know. All of a sudden, my queasiness over blood kind of went away, and I just had all this love for Pharaoh. I just felt so bad for him, and he's like, we're trying to get him not to move, and we're trying to hold his ear, and he was doing so good. It was like he didn't even care, like, notice, really. I don't know, but he just had blood all over. It was like blood all over his white fur, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so sad. So yeah, I was just trying to help think of ideas of how to like wrap his ear in the meantime before he gets to the vet, and it was just like this whole thing. And my head was still hurting, but I wasn't thinking about it as much because, you know, there's more important things happening right now. And so anyway, it was this whole long thing. Finally, my friend got back. They went and took him to the vet. I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. I'm hungry. My head hurts. So I ended up just like cooking some food, and I'm just like, I need to just take a shower and go to bed. Like, I am not doing this podcast today. Today just got crazy. I'm really tired. And yeah, that's why I didn't do the podcast yesterday. And that's why I'm not fully taking a Sabbath today, and I'm doing the podcast today. I could try to do the podcast tomorrow, Monday, which I have done before, the last minute, because I try to release it on Tuesday. But I just have a crazy day tomorrow, and I'm going to tell you kind of why that is, because I have some new dance class situations happening that I'm going to tell you about. But anyway, so pray for Pharaoh. He went to the vet. They stitched him up. So my roommates dropped him off, came back, and then had to pick him back up at like 10 p.m. or something. And now he just has like this thing wrapped around his head, and there still looks like some blood on his ear, and it's sad, but he's doing really good. He seems good. He just seems like normal Pharaoh. I love Pharaoh so much. I just love him so much. Hi, Pharaoh. I love you so much if you're listening. Ruff, 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 ruff. Anyways, so, yeah, pray for Pharaoh. He's doing okay. They're going to take him to his regular vet in a couple days or something and get it looked at. And pray for Deku that he calms down. Like, I love Deku too, but what is he doing? Like, trying to kill his brother. I mean, that kind of thing, it happened in the Bible. Abel killed Cain. They're the two brothers, if you want to look up Cain and Abel. No, I said that wrong. Cain killed Abel. Wow, sorry about that, Abel. Cain killed Abel because he was jealous. A lot of things happen from jealousy. By the way, you should listen to church today. The church that I've been going to, it's called One. The Instagram is one.online. It's literally ONE.ONLINE is their Instagram handle if you want to like find the information in the link to watch the service. But you should watch the service from this morning. I watched it virtually because I don't always go in person because it's kind of far away. But it was so good. They talked about jealousy a little bit. That's why I was thinking about it. But I posted so many Instagram stories from church today, and you might think it's annoying when I do that. But today, you should go back. It's not going to be today because I'm going to release this on Tuesday. So actually, it probably won't be on my stories anymore. But you should go into my church highlight and scroll through the million that are in there, and then go to the end of the most recent service. Or just watch the service. Just go to One Online and then click the link for the YouTube and go to the latest service, because that will be posted by Tuesday when I release this. It's so good. It was such a good message. This guy, I don't even know who he was. I guess he's one of the pastors. I don't think I've heard him speak before. I don't know if he was a guest speaker or if he's one of the regular pastors or what, but he was just talking a lot about his own journey, you know, pursuing creative fields in LA. And he just talked a lot about like God might put a calling on your life, or he called it an anointing because he was comparing it to David in the Bible, who was chosen to be king. So all his other older brothers who seemed more like they should be a king, like looked more like a king, were older than him and all this. The prophet went to David's house to like anoint the next king because God told him the next king was there. And he looked through all the brothers. There was like a bunch of brothers, and he was just like, it's none of these. Like God didn't like showed him that it was none of them. So even though that was all the brothers that like the father presented, the prophet was like, do you have another son? Is there another one? Because it's none of these, basically. And they're like, well, yeah, but it's just like David. He's like the shepherd. He's just like with the sheep. It was like they literally didn't even put him out there because they were like, it can't be him. he's too young. He's just a shepherd. He doesn't count. He doesn't look like his brothers, like whatever. And then it turned out that like David was the one that was anointed to be king. And so one of his brothers was jealous. So the speaker at the church was talking about like jealousy and how it's like hurting communities and hurting friendships and how nobody needs to be jealous of anyone because every person has a different calling. And it's kind of interesting because definitely nobody needed to be jealous of David. Like, yes, he was going to be the king, but wow, David had a rough life. Like, he probably had a lot too. He probably had a lot of money and a lot of different things, but he was like running for his life, trying not to be killed for a long time. I mean, it's all in the Bible. It's in the Psalms because David wrote a lot of the Psalms. Like, he had a rough life. He had a lot of friends leave him, and it was hard. So I don't think anyone needs to be jealous of David. And I kind of think that's true for everyone in life today. Like, there's really no reason to be jealous of anyone. You might see one thing about someone that you wish you had, or even like 5 things about them you wish you had, but you don't know like all the other things that they're going through. And like, everyone has trials and stuff they're going through, whether they're a celebrity or somebody nobody knows, or whether they have a lot of money or a little money, whether they're single, whether they're in a relationship. Like, everybody has trials in whatever season of life they're in and whatever their calling is. So there really is no reason to be jealous. So I was glad that he like spoke about that because I mean, I struggle with jealousy sometimes too. And like, I need to remind myself like, wait, there's no reason to be jealous. Like, I'm on my own journey. They're on their own journeys. God has good things for all of us. He has callings and anointings for all of us. So the preacher was saying like, the brother didn't need to be jealous. Like, he had his own calling. Like, David has had his own calling. And what's interesting is David got anointed to be king, but then he actually wasn't going to be king for a really long time. He still had to go back to tending the sheep. He then went to be like to work for the king. He played music for the king. He did kind of these more lowly positions for the current king. And then the current king, who liked him in the beginning, ended up getting jealous of him and hating him and trying to kill him. So when he found out that like he was going to be the next king. So it's this whole drama. The Bible is very interesting if you ever want to read it. But anyways, so yeah, church was just really good. So he talked about like whatever your calling is, to not be so like frustrated that, you know, you're not there yet. Like, why isn't it happening yet? Like, I feel like this is what God's put on my life. Like, why am I not already there yet? Like, for me, it might be like, yeah, I do think God wants me to do these podcasts. I think he wants me to dance. I think he wants me to make up choreography. I think he wants me to write books. But like, why aren't there more people listening or reading or dancing with me? Why am I not a better dancer yet? Why am I not making more money? Why can't I fully support myself right now? I could be frustrated in those ways. But he was talking about how like, if you're really frustrated on the path to your calling and you're just like disappointed all the time and frustrated and maybe jealous and angry that you're not where you felt like God told you were going to be yet, that even when you get the thing, even when you're finally there and you like, if I were to finally start making a good amount of money and finally have more listeners and all of this, like if I've been harboring all this like frustration, disappointment, stress, like anger, that is still going to be in my heart even when I get the thing I've been wanting to get. Because whatever you're cultivating in your heart, it becomes like a habit, and then you still have that even when you get the thing. And he was saying that was the case for him when he thought he was going to be some like executive vice president of whatever company he was trying to like climb up the ladder in. He didn't get it when he thought he was going to get it, and he had a lot of frustration. Then he finally got it, but then he still had the frustration. It like didn't go away. So he was just saying like, we have to learn how to have joy in the journey, have joy at the place where God has us now, and enjoy the process. Because if you don't enjoy the process right now, you're still not going to enjoy it, like even when you get it. And I thought that was really good. And God has given me a lot of joy with where I'm at right now, even though I'm not making a bunch of money or much of any money right now. And, you know, I don't have like the success. Like, I see success. I see ways that God shows me success of what I'm doing, but there's subtle ways, there's small ways, there are individual people here and there encouraging me. It's not in ways that the world would say like, oh, you're having success. And so it can be hard sometimes when I think about like how long this is taking me, and I thought things would have happened sooner. That would have been more obvious success. But God has given me a lot of joy where I'm at. Like, I wouldn't be living with my friends right now if I had a bunch of money and could have my own place. But it's been such a joy to live with them and their dogs and their chickens and their koi fish, and like just having my friendship with them increase during this time. It's like a special season, you know, that wouldn't have happened if I had all the money and all this success, supposedly, whatever. And I think I've said this before, but just being able to do my podcast without any like extreme pressure because I'm not making money from them right now. So I don't have like a manager to please. I don't have a bunch of people I have to overly think about pleasing. I can kind of just do what I want, do it how I want, because it's just my own thing and I can be as creative as I want with it right now. So that's really nice. There's a lot of nice things about the season I'm in right now. And I think we all can look at our lives and try to appreciate the things that are good about our life right now. And I think I've also talked about how, yeah, I'm in a manna season, so God is providing money as I go. But I do feel God's told me that I'm sort of almost richer now than maybe I'll be later when I have actual more money, like accumulating, because I'm going to actually have to budget it later. But right now I kind of can't budget it because I just get money. He just gives me money as I need it. I do something and then he provides for it. And that's how he keeps telling me to live right now in this season. So in a way, I have unlimited money. Like, I'm kind of joking, but kind of not. I don't know. It's still an experiment, but it's weird how he keeps providing for everything I need. So it's kind of like a really cool season that I'm in right now that I think later on when I actually have regular money coming in and stuff like that, I think there'll be things about this season that I'll miss. And so I just don't want to miss out and enjoying what I could be enjoying of it right now. So I just thought the message this morning was so good. Definitely check out One Online. That's her Instagram handle. And then go to their YouTube page to get their sermons. They also have a podcast of the sermons. So you can, I think the YouTube, so they have live services like 4 or 5 on Sundays. It's like 9 a.m. This might be wrong. It's somewhere around 9 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. or something like that. I think they even have a 7 a.m. one, but I think that's for from the previous week or something. But you can watch it on YouTube live with the worship and everything, and you're watching it with everybody else, and then everyone's like talking in the chat. I don't think that's the case for the afternoon ones, but it is the case for the morning ones that you're like actually watching with other people and they're in the chat and stuff. I think the 6 p.m. doesn't have a chat. Anyways, a lot of details you don't need to know. But you can watch it with people live on Sundays. But then if you want to watch it later, they'll post it like the next day or put it on their podcast on like Apple or Spotify. And then it won't include the worship. It'll like just be the sermon. So those are the options. I love the messages from this church every week. I think it's very geared towards artists, dancers, entrepreneurs. So if that's you, which I feel like a lot of people probably are that or can relate to that who are listening to this podcast, you might want to check out those sermons. So anyways, just a shout out to the church I've been visiting. I guess it's my church. I don't know. I'm not always there in person, but it's where I've been going lately or watching online. I just thought it was really good this morning and would highly recommend you check it out, whether you're into God or church or you're not. I still think you could get a lot out of it. There was like a lot of encouraging things they said. So I felt like it was like really practical today. So I would highly recommend that. Money update. I have $73. So yay, I have $73. I have been spending money on different things. I don't have it all written out to tell you every single thing, but yeah, just continuing to do what I feel called to do and spending money where I need to spend money. And then, I mean, the other day I paid for a class, and when I got to the studio, the front desk person was like, "Oh, I see that you signed up, but you actually have a guest spot today." And I didn't even ask for a guest spot. That was really cool. So then they gave me my money back. They didn't give me my money back, but they like gave me a credit, and then I was able to use that for like a different class I kind of wanted to go to. So like, I don't know. God is just making it happen somehow. I don't even know. I don't even know how that happened because I didn't ask for one, but maybe they forgot that I didn't ask for one and thought that I did, because it's someone that I like get guest spots for sometimes. And so it was just cool. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to ask questions. I'm just going to be happy every time I get blessed in that kind of way. It's like very cool that I can keep taking all these dance classes. Okay. But I'm very excited to tell you guys my big dance update. So I had told you before that I'm kind of just trying to figure out like my dance schedule, because like I have a few classes that I kind of always take. I drive to LA. I was trying to look for a studio that was closer to my house. Not necessarily that I'm not going to drive to the LA classes still, but just to have like more classes now that I'm not in a dance show and I just want to focus on training. And I really wanted to focus on technique and getting better at ballet. But then that ballet studio near my house that I thought I could take adult classes at, they're like ending with the summer ending. And I was like, bummer. I really wanted to go to those. So I was like, I guess I'm just going to drive really far and go to my old ballet studio that I really like, but it's all the way in Santa Monica, and I'm just going to like drive there, I guess. And I was going to go with my friend who I saw at the dance show. I was going to, she was like, I'm going to go probably on Wednesday. You should come. And I was like, I'm just going to make this really long drive, I guess, to go to my old ballet studio because I just want to take more ballet. And I know it's gas money and it costs money to take the class, but like, hopefully God will provide as he's been providing for everything, because like, I just need to take more ballet. I feel like God's told me to take more ballet. I feel like I'm supposed to take more ballet. So I was going to do that. But in the meantime, so even though I was like, okay, that ballet studio, I guess they're not going to have ballet classes for adults till next summer. So we can't think about that right now. But there's a couple other studios that are near my house where I'm living right now. One of them is about 30 minutes away. It's not a ballet studio, but they do have a bunch of dance classes. And one of my friends takes class there sometimes, so she had recommended it to me. They used to have an intermediate contemporary class, and that was the class my friend thought was really good. So I was like, okay, actually, that studio, it's $200 a month for unlimited classes. That's like a pretty crazy deal. Like, you would never find that deal, almost never find that deal in LA. There's a couple studios in LA that do have like almost a deal like that. But yeah, it's still kind of unheard of to get unlimited classes for $200 a month. Most studios don't even do an unlimited class package anymore. But hold on, my mouth is getting dry. So I was like, that's a good deal, $200 a month for unlimited. And if they have this intermediate contemporary class, maybe they have some other classes that I would like too, and maybe that would be worth it to do $200 a month. Like, do I have $200 a month for dance classes? I mean, no. But do I have money for anything? No. I just put it on a credit card, and then God just gives it back to me. And I'm still not in debt, and I don't know like how this is happening, but I'm praying it's going to continue like this. So I'm just having a lot more faith. So I'm just looking around. I am trying to find deals. I'm trying to spend money wisely, but I am also trying not to have fear, and I'm trying to just do what I feel God put in my heart and then watch him provide, because I really feel like he told me to have faith for that. So you're on this journey with me. We're all going to see what happens with that. But anyways, so I was thinking about that studio possibly, but then they like got rid of the intermediate contemporary class. It's like not on the schedule anymore. And I was like, oh man, that was the one class I was like most excited about. Also, they have this deal where it's like $30 if you're a new person at the studio, if you're a new client or whatever. It's $30 for unlimited for a week if you want to just like try as many classes as you can. So I thought about doing that too. I'm like, well, that's a great deal. That's basically the price of one class, and I could get a bunch of classes. But then when I was like watching all their videos on the Instagram and stuff, I was just kind of like, I don't think this is me. I don't think this is the studio I'm supposed to take a bunch of classes at. Like, it's probably a good studio. There's probably a lot of people that like it. It seems like a lot of people go to it. They have a decent following. Like, but when I was looking at the classes and the songs and like the teachers and stuff, I was just kind of like, I don't know. It's now that they don't have the intermediate contemporary, I don't think there's as many other types of classes I'm really drawn to. And I wasn't really drawn to it when I was watching the videos. And I was like, I just don't think this is the studio. I just felt like God was like not leading me to that studio. I'm like, I don't think this is it. So I was like, man, I'm just going to have to drive to LA for all my classes, and that's fine. I mean, those are the best studios anyways. I'm just going to pray that God provides all the gas money, because, man, it's a lot of gas, and gas is expensive. And I really go through it driving from my house these days. But then I kind of felt like God reminded me about this other studio. So when I first moved to where I'm living now, which is like past Thousand Oaks, it's outside of LA, I had looked up as many studios as I could find on the internet, like that were close by. And I had made a list and written down like some different ones and what the deals were and stuff. And there was one that I wrote down that was actually in the city that I'm in. So it's like literally 10 minutes away. It's a kid studio, but they have a handful of adult classes. But when I looked at like the website, they don't have any adult dance videos on the Instagram. There's no videos of anything. So you can't even like see what they really are. And then when you look at the list of adult classes on the website, I mean, it does say $100 for unlimited classes for the month. So that, I mean, that's the best deal you could find anywhere. So that did draw me for a second. But then I was like, there's not that many classes though. There's like 1 or 2 classes a night, Monday through Thursday, and that's it. So you'd have to really like those classes. I mean, it's a good deal if you really liked all those classes, but it's not really a good deal. I mean, I guess if there was at least one class you liked a week, it would be like, okay, to do $100 for the month. Because it seemed like there was no other way to pay for class. It's just like $100 for unlimited for the month, and that's kind of like it. So now I've learned that's not necessarily the case, but that was all they had on the website. And And they didn't have like any levels. It didn't say like intermediate tap or beginning ballet. It just had like adult ballet, adult tap, adult contemporary, adult hip hop. And I'm like, there's no levels listed. It's just like on this one little page on the website. It just has, and then it has like a class that's just called like workout and yoga. And so I'm thinking this just sounds like kind of some lame fitness classes. Sorry, that was really what I was thinking though. So I really kind of put that studio out of my head. I'm like, $100 a month, yeah, sounds nice. I'm sure these classes suck. Like, I'm not going to go to these classes. So I really kind of just like wasn't even going to try that studio. But then, I don't know, I felt like the other day God was kind of reminding me, I really think it was God, because I had really put it out of my head, and I felt like God was reminding me like, why don't you look into that studio? Because I was kind of like, I don't have $100 to just be throwing around if these aren't good classes. Now, if that's the only option, to just like pay $100 for unlimited classes, but then I'm going to be stuck with a bunch of crappy classes. Like, I also care about my time. It's not just about money. Like, I need time to finish my second book. I have a lot of other things going on. I have this podcast. Like, I have editing to do. I don't want to pay even $100 if they're bad classes. Like, I don't want to pay anything if they're bad classes. So I had kind of been like, yeah, I just am not even going to try it, because what am I going to do? Waste $100 and then I don't even like it? But I felt like God said, why don't you just email them and ask them about the classes? Why don't you just say like, can I try a class to see if I like them, or ask what level the classes are at for the adults, you know? And I was like, okay, I guess I could do that. And so I was thinking about that. And then what was interesting was I drove to my bank, which I don't usually ever go to the bank. But because someone for my birthday gave me $100 bill in cash, I was like, I can't just be carrying around this $100 bill. I need to like put this in my bank account. Also, my bank account needs to be fed right now. So I was like, I'm going to go to the bank and deposit this cash. Like, gosh, I'm just like never at the bank. I never try to get cash. I never like deposit cash, like hardly ever. Every once in a while I do, but like I'm never at the bank. Anyway, so I'm like, where is my bank? Is it close to here? So yeah, it's like 10 minutes from my house is my bank. I'm like, great. So I go to the bank, deposit the money. Now what's interesting is like there was a faster way to drive my car out of the bank to get back on the main street. But for some reason that I don't know why, except I think maybe it was God, I decided to go like around the bank the longer way, and I have no idea why I did that. Even as I was driving that way, I was like, why am I going this way? I should have just turned around and like gone right out to the street. I mean, whatever. It was like an extra few minutes, but I was like, why did I drive this way? I just had this thought, like, why did I drive this way? And I'm driving around this whole parking lot. And as I'm driving, I look over and I'm like, oh, wait, that's the dance studio. Like, I had already emailed them. I emailed them like hours earlier because I felt like God put that idea in my heart. So I was literally in the parking lot doing an errand, like getting something else like from the store. And I emailed them from my phone to ask those questions. And then I'm driving and I'm like, wait, that is the dance studio. Wait, that's crazy. And it just kind of looked like this dinky dance studio. I think it was just the angle I was looking at it from how I was driving, but it just looked like, you know, one room, which is nothing, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I've gone to many studios that are just like one room when you just walk right into it. I mean, it's in like a shopping plaza and there's just like one studio you walk into, and I'm like, that's fine. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. If it's good classes, it doesn't really matter what the studio looks like. I mean, it helps if it's a nice studio, but it's like not that big of a deal. But still, because I already thought the studio is probably bad, I thought, oh, it's just like this one room. So, I mean, I saw it and I thought that was interesting. I felt like God was like, actually, I can't remember if I emailed them before or after I saw it. I think I actually emailed them after I saw it because I felt like God put it in my heart stronger, because then I passed by it and I was like, oh, I need to email them. I think that's actually what happened. Sorry, I'm like forgetting the story now. But anyway, I thought it was weird that I accidentally passed by it. So I really felt like God was like reminding me, like, you need to connect with them and like ask about this. And then as I'm driving after that, I was like, you know, it could be good classes. I think I was trying to give myself hope, because I was like, I mean, I think it's a kids competition studio, like from what I remembered from the website. I'm like, and kids competition dance studios are usually really good, like, because they're training them to compete and win. And if it's the same teachers that teach the kid classes that teach the adult classes, maybe they actually are really good classes. Like, who knows, you know? So anyway, I had emailed the studio. I asked if there was, if I could try a class. And they actually emailed me back right away. If you don't know this about me, I love good customer service. I really do. It really I really think people need to think about their customer service more, because it really makes a good first impression. It really is a first impression of any company or anybody, you know? And so, yeah, she responded right away, which was really helpful. And she was very nice. And she was like, oh, yeah, of course you can try a class. Like, what class would you like to try? We'll let you try a free class. And then she said the level, it's kind of open to all levels. They try to cater the classes so a beginner or an advanced person could take the class. And so, I mean, that's not helping me think that they're good classes, but I was like, okay, I mean, I guess it's good that I could go to any class. So anyway, they had their contemporary class that night. So I was like, perfect. I was like, can I try the contemporary class tonight? And she was like, yeah. So I get to the contemporary class. Okay, I walk into the studio. It is huge. It's a very big studio, and there are a ton of rooms. I don't even know how many like studios are in this building. I mean, they're part of a shopping plaza, so it's not like its own building, but it's very nice. Turns out it's like their new building. I don't know where they used to be, but it's very nice. All these lobby areas, a bunch of different like single person bathrooms, but they were like really nice. Something I've realized is I really need to try the bathrooms at dance studios. Sometimes when I try a new dance studio, I like don't want to go to the bathroom because like I don't like public bathrooms. Like, I really don't. But I do prefer to go to the bathroom right before a dance class, even if I don't really have to go, just because it makes me feel, like, better. Like, I'm really ready for dance class. Like, no ounce of my bladder is going to have to be, like, is going to have pressure, during this class. I just like to, go to the bathroom no matter what. But when it's a new dance studio, like, I don't like public bathrooms, so I'm just like, oh, what if they're gross? I don't want to look. I'm like, wait, I need to be looking at the bathrooms because I need to be seeing, like, how they are, because it does make a difference. Like, it's not like I'm not going to go to a studio because they have a bad bathroom, but, like, I don't know. I just like to know how nice the bathroom is. And also, like, what if I'm going to rent space and do a class? Like, I want to rent space somewhere where, like, the bathrooms are decent. Like, I don't know. That would be my preference anyways. So I kind of just, like, made myself go to the bathroom even though I didn't have to go, just because, like, I should check them out. They were, like, so nice. They were, like, clean, new looking. And, I mean, this is a kid's studio, so there's tons of little kids running around. I'm like, it's pretty crazy that they're keeping these really clean. So very happy with that. I'm waiting for the class to start. We go in. It's kind of a smallerish room. I'm sure they have bigger rooms, but there were only about like 8 of us for the contemporary class, and we were doing a warm-up for a while, and it was fine. There wasn't anything like overly amazing or bad about the warm-up. It was just like, I did like the music he was playing, and it was like calming, which like some of my contemporary classes these days play really like intense music during the warm up and during when people are stretching, which is totally fine. And like sometimes I can get into that because it's like this fun upbeat thing. But because I have that all the time, I kind of appreciated that it was just like kind of mellow. Like, oh, it's kind of nice that we get to like warm up to like this mellow music. So that was nice. I appreciated the song choices, whatever they were, but like I remember liking it. And then he started teaching the choreography, and oh my gosh, I knew in the first 5 minutes of him teaching that I was obsessed. I'm like, I love it. I love it already. I love the way he teaches. He takes time, but not like too much time. Like I felt like I was challenged. He also has counts, which is fine either way. I like to be able to learn with counts or without counts, but like it is really nice because I've had a lot of teachers lately that don't do counts as much. Well, I shouldn't say that. I guess my teachers are kind of a mix right now, but I used to back in the day have only teachers that did counts. So I got really good at counts during that time. And now I feel like I'm a little worse at counts than I used to be. So it was just nice that he had counts, but he also would like tell us words and give us ways to like remember it better. And he was really into technique. That's what I was really excited about because I'm trying to get better at technique. And he put a multiple attitude turns, like not in a row, but like he had, I think 1 or 2 attitude turns in the piece. And one of the attitude turns, I couldn't remember what he did for the arms. So I was like, oh wait, what are arms doing during that one? He's like, oh, they're just down. You're going to slide your arms down as you're doing the attitude turn. And I was like, whoa. In my head, I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. I don't think I've ever done an attitude turn like without arms. That was very challenging for me, but it was a really cool challenge. I was like, I want to get this. And then he was like, okay guys, make sure your foot's really pointed, make sure, no sickled feet. And like, so just stuff like that is good for me to hear. Like I know those things, but because I didn't grow up doing dance and my feet don't naturally go into like non-sickled position. I don't know what the opposite of sickled is, but the right way. They don't naturally go into the right way because like I didn't train my feet my whole life in ballet. And so often I always see it when I'm trying to post like when I'm posting a video from class and then I try to find like a still from the video to use for like the cover for the Instagram reel, that's always when I see my bad feet. I'm like, dang it. I was going to use that picture for like the cover, but now you can see how sickled my foot is. It's so gross. Like, I mean, who even decided that sickled feet was gross? Who cares? Sometimes you have a teacher that like literally will tell you to do a sickled foot. I mean, it's very rare, but sometimes you have these like, you know, more modern classes that are kind of quirky and they'll be like, I don't want a nice pointed foot here. I like make it sickled. It's supposed to be kind of funky and like blah, blah, blah. So once in a while you will have that, but for the most part, you don't want that. And I don't know who decided that sickled feet was gross, but I also think it's gross now. And so when I see myself do it, I'm like, ew, why am I doing that? But like, I'm just in very advanced classes these days in LA and like, I'm just trying to remember the choreography. So to also think about pointing my feet a certain way is just like, they're like fast, there's flips, there's floor work, and there's a lot of choreography. And like, it's just another thing for me to try to think about pointing my feet. And so I think what was really nice about this contemporary class is just like, it was enough choreography that I was challenged. It wasn't like super easy, like, oh, only 2 8 counts or something like that. Like it was still a good amount of choreography, but it wasn't so crazy fast with tons of stuff going on where like I couldn't think about technique. I felt like it was just the right amount for me to be somewhat challenged with the amount of choreography, but then also still had space in my brain to be like, oh yeah, I want to get this leg better. And when we were practicing the attitude turns, when he was telling us that part, at one point he said a compliment to a girl in the class who did like a really nice attitude turn. There is definitely all levels in the classes. So some people are more advanced. And I love that because I love just being able to watch people that are more advanced than me and be inspired by them. And I also love to like help anyone if I have more experience than somebody else. So I love the mix as long as like the class is a good, you know, level for me, which it was. But anyway, he complimented this girl, you know, and so we kind of like saw her do it. And then a few minutes later when I was practicing that part, he looked at me and said, oh, gorgeous. And I was like, oh, really? Once in a while, I have a good attitude turn. I really want to get better at them. Most of the time, they're not consistently good, which is a bummer. But I'm really trying to get better, and I'm trying to get better at my turns in general. Also, we were dancing on Marley, which is cool, but I'm used to kind of a more slick wood floor. So there was a point when, and I think I was dancing in my foot undies. So like I still don't completely dance in bare feet because I don't really have the calluses built to be able to do turns with bare feet. Like my feet start to stick on the floor. And some people were wearing socks. Maybe I was wearing socks. I can't remember. It's a really nice Marley floor, so it's not a overly sticky Marley floor. So I think I was able to wear the foot undies, which is just like these, you know, it's like a little bit of fabric on your feet so that you can turn better, but it's like mostly a barefoot that you're dancing in, which is like what a lot of people do these days for pieces and performing and stuff like that. But anyway, there was a point when he gave us there was a pencil turn, which I haven't done that in a while either. The classes I'm taking these days don't have a lot of turns. I love the choreography and my usual classes, but they don't have a lot of turns usually, like at least not a lot of like standard type of turns. And I really want to get better at those because like I really like the standard types of ballet turns and stuff. And so not that a pencil turn is like super standard, but like I used to do that more in old contemporary classes I used to take. So I haven't practiced that kind of thing in a while. And when he called it a pencil turn, it was funny because he was like, the kids call this a pencil turn. He's like, you know, it's really just front dégagé. So it was kind of fun. Like I just felt like he used a lot of like technical ballet terms and stuff, so I really appreciated that. But he was like, there's enough time to do 2, and it was cool because it was like a pencil turn going into like, you know, a chaîné into this other move, and like it was a good challenge, and it was like fun to try to work at that. And at first I was just doing a single because I felt like when I did a double it was like not turning out pretty, also because we were on Marley and my feet were sticking. This is my problem lately. Like when I'm at home practicing turns, they often look better because my floor is like really slick in my room. But then when I'm in the studio, especially if I've been dancing for a while, my feet are getting sweaty. By the time we're shooting videos, I'm like, I might have had good double turns in the beginning of class, but by the time we're shooting the videos, I am like sticking to the floor and my turns look terrible. And I just wish my feet had the calluses and could like turn better. That's not the only problem. I also just need to work on them, but that definitely doesn't help. And I can see how like my turns progressively get worse because my feet get sweatier and stickier, and then it's just like hard for me to turn. And then that's when we get the video and everybody's probably like, wow, Tracy really sucks at turns. But like I actually sometimes have really good turns. So anyways, still working through that. But yeah, eventually I did start to get like a double with the pencil turn, and I was just like having so much joy in that class. Like I couldn't like kind of stop myself from like beaming. I felt like I was beaming the whole class because not only was I just like happy that I was enjoying that class, and I don't know what the song was that he chose, but like I loved it. It was just, I loved dancing to it. I loved all the music that he chose. I really liked his style of choreography and all of the leg stuff we were doing, but it wasn't like high kick your head kind of legs, which I'm really bad at, which it's not like, I mean, maybe I should get better at that, but it takes a lot of like stretching and flexibility. But it was more just like a lot of like attitude and like kind of jumps and just like more ballet stuff, which I just like really appreciated. And yeah, I was just so happy the whole time. Oh, also just because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get to take this every week. I just got so excited because like I love to work with the same teacher and keep growing and getting better. And so I just got really excited, like, wow, wait, this class is like so cheap if this is $100 for unlimited. I mean, even if this was the only class I liked, I would, you know, take 4 times a month, which would be like $25 a class. It's not the best deal ever, but like it would be fine. But probably I'll like the other classes here too if this is how good this class is, you know. So I was really liking it. It was only an hour long, but I felt like he really used the time efficiently. And towards the end, we did get to dance a lot, especially since there wasn't a lot of people. We never did groups. We just danced the whole time. So I felt like I got a lot out of the class. But then at the end, I was like really hoping we were going to get to take videos because like I just really like the combo. And I also want to see like what I look like. So it's partially for me and it's partly just to have a memory of the class. It was just like such a nice, like special experience to have so much joy at the studio that I thought was going to be so bad. And like, sorry that I thought that, but it just seemed like there just wasn't anything about it that was like drawing me from like the website. But yeah, it turns out that the teachers for the kids competition classes like are the teachers that teach the adult classes. They're just like there all day. They teach the kids, and then at the end of the day, they have like an adult class. I mean, there were still kids classes going on because there's a lot of rooms, but or maybe it's rehearsals or something. But yeah. So anyway, loved this teacher. He was also like, he was like serious and expected a lot out of us, but also was kind of like funny too and like an interesting, unique person. Like I just really, really enjoyed it. So afterwards, I was kind of talking to him because he was like introducing himself to like, there were a few of us that were new, I think. And I was talking to him a little bit afterwards and we ended up chatting for so long. I was like, yeah, I like just moved here, and me and this other girl that was also new, we were both talking to him. So we were telling our dance experience, and she was saying like, oh, she used to dance as a kid a lot, but she hasn't danced in a really long time. And then I was saying like, yeah, I got started in dance when I was an adult. So it's been about like 9 years, but like my technique is lacking a lot of times and really want to get better at it. I was like, love this class. Thank you so much. I'm like excited to try the other classes here. And then he was saying he also teaches ballet. And I was like, that makes sense. Now everything's coming together. He also teaches ballet. And then I got excited because I really liked him. I'm like, oh my gosh, he teaches ballet here too. That's so great because I've been looking for extra ballet classes. And now it's this really good teacher that I already really like that teaches ballet. That's amazing. And he seemed really excited talking to me. And he was like, yeah, and if you guys ever like really want to work on certain things, I'm happy to like work with you guys to like put that in the combo or whatever. Like love to work with you guys on what you're trying to get better at. And then he ended up telling me a little bit about his life. He used to take class at Edge back in the day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, me too. I used to love Edge. And then I think he moved to New York for a while and was doing stuff there. And he has this whole like slew of experience and stuff he was telling me. And I can tell he's like, you know, very good at what he does. And I guess he used to teach like even crazier amounts than he teaches now. So he was like teaching so many classes at one point when he got like sort of burned out and like wanted to perform again because he was teaching so much. But like he's obviously a very good teacher and you could tell he has a passion for it. And that is just what I love to see. And that's all my teachers. I mean, I feel that about all my teachers, but it was just cool to like experience a new teacher that's really close to my house for a really good deal. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But anyway, they didn't take videos. Like nobody took out cameras. There was nothing said about videos. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to be the new girl in class. It's like, can we take a video? Like, it's fine. I don't have to take a video. I was just kind of disappointed. But I don't know. It's like maybe they have a rule against that. I don't really know. Or maybe it's just because it's a short class. We don't have time to be like taking videos at the end. I'm not sure. But I just didn't say anything. Maybe down the road, if I get more comfortable, I might be like, can we ever take a video? I don't know. But anyway, so did that class, loved it, ended up taking the ballet class. Oh, it was cool because basically for the summer was like a month long. It was like middle of July to middle of August. So it's still going. It's going to go for like one more week and then it's going to be done for the summer. And then it starts back up in September. But it was $100 for unlimited classes. But when I talked to one of the customer service people, the owner or somebody who I was emailing, they were like, oh yeah, if you want to take more classes through the rest of the summer session, she said she would prorate it for me. So it's like $100 for unlimited, but she's like, I'll give it to you for $50 since you're just kind of doing half of the summer program. So that was really nice. She also said if there ends up being just like one class you really like or two classes, I can give you a different kind of deal like through the year if you want to just like do those classes. But I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to try all them. So we'll see. I took ballet with the same guy. Oh my gosh, I was so happy during this class too. I loved his ballet class. He didn't do frappes, and I do need to work on frappes. So I have a couple ballet teachers that like don't do frappes, and I really maybe at some point I'll ask him like, can we work on frappes sometimes? Maybe he does do it sometimes. Maybe he switches it up every time, but I need to get better at frappes. But besides that, like, it was just such a perfect level for me. And there were some advanced people in it. Like, again, it was kind of a mix. So that was really good for me because I could watch the more advanced people and kind of like, I really like to have people to watch to try to get better myself, to look more like them. Not to look like them, but, you know, look like their technique and that kind of thing. So, but he did a lot of like, he just really focused on the technicality of it versus like throwing a ton of crazy combinations at us. But it also wasn't like, so it wasn't like beginner. Like I wouldn't call it a beginner class. It was just very like focused. I mean, some of the combinations were kind of tricky just because like I don't know if he does those every time and so other people are better at them than me, but like it was new for me to remember like what was happening in the combination. So they weren't super easy, but he really focused on like holding the balances, holding the turnouts. He did a lot of balances and just getting really high up on your releve, really turning from the hip, making sure like your waist is not like slanted, that you're, you know, in a square position with your leg turning out correctly. He just really, really honed in on that. And because it's not that big of a class, I mean, there were like maybe 6 of us, you get like a lot of attention. Like he wasn't necessarily coming up to us individually for things, but the things he was telling us for everybody to listen to was like stuff that was applying definitely to me and maybe to everybody. But then we would do like the other side and then we'd all get it like a little bit better. And wow, I was sore the next day from that class. And it wasn't even like that crazy of a ballet class. And it was only 1 hour. But the way he had us holding different things and really working our technique and working our turnout was just like, wow, this is exactly what I need. And the stuff we did in the center was really good too. I was just like, dang. And what's crazy is he's also like injured. He's dealing with this injury with his foot. So he can't do like everything full out for us, but he still showed it really well. He still found ways to like make sure we had it, and he's still a really good teacher. I shouldn't say still. He just like is a really good teacher. I was sad to hear that he's injured, so he was like kind of telling a few of us about that afterwards as well. And I was like, you know, I'm going to pray for him, like that he gets healed, but he has so much joy anyways. He basically, I think he said he got in a car accident and like he's just grateful that he's like alive because he could have been dead. Like he talked about like how if something was like slightly different than how it happened, he might have been dead. So it sucks that like this happened to his foot and he still can't fully dance right now. And it's been, I think, 2 years. But he said it could heal still and like he could be healed in 10 years. And I was like, okay, I'm going to pray for it to be sooner than that. 10 years is a long time. But yeah, he still has all this joy and he's so grateful that he can still like teach and do all this stuff that he loves. And so he was just such a cool person to talk to. I just really, really felt appreciative. And I also tried the hip hop class, which was with a different teacher. Also really great level for me. A different type of thing. Like it wasn't a ton of choreography. It was a good amount still. I still had to remember it. I still struggled a little. It wasn't like it was so easy. But she really helped us understand the moves and like get the moves better. And she had names for all the moves. Like in hip hop, there's a lot of names for different kinds of moves, and I don't always know them. I most of the time don't know them. So it was really nice that she would say, and this is called the blah, blah, blah. We're going to do one of these, da, da, da. And I really liked her personality. She, again, had like a high standard and like wanted us to do really well, but she was like really encouraging, really nice. I liked the music she chose. It was fun. Like, I just really liked it. There was like 4 of us in that class, but it was such a good class. And she also teaches the kids' classes. So I'm just like, wow, even the hip hop, I think this is going to really help me like find my groove in hip hop because I just take so many advanced classes where they shove a lot of choreography at you. And I do like that training because it helps me to get better at picking up choreography, which is really important. And it's not to say I don't also grow in my groove ability in those classes too. I think I do. But to have a class, it's like a little bit less choreography and a little more focus on just like really getting the moves. That's very helpful for what I need right now. So I think just having these classes in addition to the other classes I take is going to be really helpful. So loved that class, felt so good about it. Then I tried the tap class, and that was extremely advanced, I would say, extremely advanced. So the teacher was so nice. Her name was also Tracy with an I. So I was like, that's really funny and weird. And I feel like that's a sign that I'm supposed to be here, because it was really hard. I haven't tapped in a really long time, but it was definitely an advanced class where she was just like, they'd already been working on a combo. I guess it's the beginning opening sequence from 42nd Street or something like that. I don't even think I've seen that. But anyways, they all kind of already learned some of it already. And then it was just like, okay, now time step, now double, triple time step. Like, she didn't really explain. I wouldn't say she's like, I think she's a good teacher. Like, she did take time to explain certain things. Like, I would ask questions like, can you remind me what a drawback is? Like, we did this across the floor stuff that was so hard and so fast. And I can't even remember what a drawback is. Like, she's like, and then 2 drawbacks here, and then this and this and this. She did go over it. But like, if you haven't taken tap in a really long time, and even when I used to take tap more, I was still more at like an advanced beginner level. I was never at an even really an intermediate level in tap. So like, to have not taken it for so long and to have only ever even been at like an advanced beginner level, I was just like really struggling. I mean, there was some stuff that was coming back to me. I was like, okay, front Irish or whatever. Is that the name of a step? I'm like, am I calling it something weird? It's like a buffalo, and like, it was starting to come back to me, and like a Shirley Temple, but it was taking my brain a minute, and then it was coming back in my muscle memory. So I started doing things and I didn't even know how I was doing them. I'm like, I'm not even sure what my feet are doing, but I am doing it. So it's in there somewhere. But I was like, I need to watch some YouTube videos. And like, I wanted to come back. I was just like, I think I need to watch some YouTube videos just so I can keep up. Like, this is definitely a more advanced class. And some of the people in the class, I mean, there were all levels in the class. There was another girl that was like struggling a lot, and she was wearing sneakers, which I feel like would also make it hard. But there was a couple girls that were really, really good tappers, and I was like, dang. So it was fun. Oh, also what was crazy is she was like holding her arms out. The teacher was holding her arms out through the whole like warm-up exercise portion. So it seems like all these classes do almost 30 minutes of just like exercises across the floor, warm-up, which is cool. I think it's more rooted in like technique than it is in like, let's throw a bunch of choreography at you and get a good video, which I love classes like that. That's what I'm used to. I still want to go to those classes. But it's nice to also have these kind of classes that are just focusing on technique and exercises and stuff like that. I think that's really, really going to help me. And it's really what I'm looking for and what I've been looking for. So, and then I talked to that teacher after the class. I was like, I really loved it. It's just like, I'm a little lost. Like, I don't remember a lot of that stuff. I'm like, I just need to watch some YouTube videos, but I'll be back. And she's like, well, if you're going to come back for like the September session, she's like, we just been working on this for the summer because everybody like wanted to work on a piece kind of. So we've been working on it. So, and there's like a little more advanced people in the class right now. She's like, but usually when the school year starts, we get more types of people and people at different levels, and we get more like extreme beginners. So definitely like, we're going to go back through stuff. It's not going to be exactly like this. And it turns out I can't go to that class this week anyways, because I'm house sitting. So I'm going to be out of the area. Starting on Thursday when the tap class is. So I'm going to miss the last class of that summer session anyway, which will probably be for the best for me to just start back in September when they start the new session with tap. But then I also know that I can like just watch YouTube videos, like, because she says the names of everything. So I know that like, if I don't understand what she's doing, like I can ask her, like anytime I asked her a question, she would take time and show me, but I didn't want to like take up the whole class with my questions when everybody else is like going faster than me and stuff. So I know that I can remember the names of it and like look it up at home. And like, I did take tap a long time ago. Like, it'll come back to me. I just need like a refresher. So I still thought it was good. I was just like not expecting like how advanced it was compared to the other classes that were a little bit more like open level feeling. And the tap class felt like very advanced. But I was going to say, so during like the whole first 30 minutes of the class, it was like she had her arms out like this. She even had like wrist weights and asked any of us if we wanted wrist weights too, which I was having some wrist problems for a little bit, partly from pushing that wagon when I used to babysit, because it was like so heavy on the street and I would have to push with my right wrist a lot because the sidewalk was slanted. I think I told you guys about that. I stopped that job, but I still was having some problems. I realized I think it's because I've been doing push-ups a few times a week, and I think right now I need to rest my wrist and not have it in that like 90-degree angle like position for a while with pressure. I was in a class the other day where he did push-ups in the warm-up and my ego got the best of me and I was like, I don't want to just like not do the push-ups because it's going to look like I can't do push-ups, but like I can. I just like, my wrist is injured right now. And so I should have just done a plank on my arms or something, but my ego was in the way and I was like, I'm just going to do them. So anyway, but I have noticed since I've stopped doing push-ups on my own at home a few times a week like I usually do, I've stopped doing that. I do think my wrist is actually finally healing. I think I'll be able to do them again. I just needed to like rest it. So it is doing better if you've been praying for my wrist. I don't know if you even remember that I had a wrist issue, but like I did. It's getting better in my right wrist. Anyways, but yeah, keeping our arms like up like that. Like, so I did not get the wrist weights because I was like, this is my first time here. I think I need to just do it the regular way. And also like I have a wrist problem, but thank God I didn't get the wrist weights because even just keeping my arms up for all those exercises, she like hardly ever put her arms down. She's like ripped too. And I'm like, I mean, I would love to be ripped like that, but I'm just like, that is hard to keep your arms up like that. So anyway, it's going to be a good workout in that class too. And she used fun music too. So it was good. I'm excited about that class. The only classes I haven't tried because of the day that I started during the week, I think this Monday, tomorrow, which is why I don't have as much time to edit tomorrow, is I'm going to try, they have a yoga class and then a workout class, which is like not usually what I would go to, but if I'm going to pay for the unlimited and I can go to everything, I might as well go because I don't usually do workouts that aren't dance. And I think it's really helpful to do that when you're trying to like cross train while you're dancing. And that's not something I usually do except for some stuff that I do at home. So I was like, I guess I'll just try. I'm definitely not like a yoga person, but I appreciate some of the stretches in yoga. So like, I'm going to check it out and see. I mean, I may not keep going to the yoga and the workout. They're two separate classes after each other. I may go to one or the other or not go to either on Mondays. I'm not sure, but I'm going to check it out since it's included in my package. I'm going to check that out on Monday night tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. So besides that, I think I tried everything else. It was hip hop. Oh, the contemporary class switches between jazz and contemporary with that teacher that I really like. So that'll be cool to see like the different things that he brings to the class. And yeah, nobody takes videos. And it was funny because the teacher that I really like, the guy, he asked me my last name. I don't know if it was because he was going to look for me on Instagram or not, but I also asked him his last name because I was going to try to find him on Instagram. But like, I don't use my last name on Instagram, and I think maybe he doesn't either, or he's not on there because like I could not find him. So I'm like, I don't know. I think this is just going to be my non-social media dance outlet where just like I have no videos and none of us follow each other on Instagram. It's going to be so interesting. Like maybe it'll be a nice break for me, but it's just like sad because I like the classes so much and I kind of just want to like have memories of them and like be able to put it on like my growth journey on my Instagram because I like to show all the growth. But I'm like, I think people will see the growth and I'll see the growth because it's going to show up in my other classes because like I'm getting all this technical experience now. And what's also crazy, okay, so what's crazy is the summer session ends middle of August, which is so perfect because I'm literally house sitting like almost the last 2 weeks of August. So I'm not in the area. So that worked out perfectly. And then I'm back in the area right when this studio by my house starts their next session. That's also going to be $100 for a month. So that is so perfect. And then what else is crazy is I felt like Holy Spirit also gave me another idea and was like, maybe I should look back up that ballet studio, the one that's like 30 minutes from my house that I wanted to take adult ballet classes at because it's a really good, normally kids ballet training school that goes with Pacific Festival Ballet, which is the company I really like that put on Charlotte's Web. It wasn't their company, it was like their kids program, but they put on really good ballets and I really like them. This is their training school that I wanted to take the ballet classes at, but then there weren't any more adult ones after the summer and I was like, darn it. Because that's what it looked like on the calendar, that it was all stopping at the end of the summer because the next weeks like didn't have the adult classes anymore. And I was like, man, I just assumed that they were only in the summer. The way that the website was like worded, it seemed like they were only in the summer. But I felt like God was like, why don't you look up that ballet studio again? God is always telling me to look up that ballet studio because I also felt like in the beginning, I looked at that ballet studio and thought it was just for kids. And I felt like God told me later, why don't you look up that ballet studio again? And I had to really navigate the website to find the adult classes. It was really hard for me to find them. Then I finally found them. Then I was too busy with the show and everything, never got to go. Finally was going to try it. And then they didn't have them because the summer was ending. And I was like, oh my gosh, so crazy. But then I felt like God said, why don't you look it up again? I feel like I'm supposed to go to this ballet studio because I feel like God keeps telling me to look it up when I keep thinking there's nothing for me there. So I looked it up again, and guess what? The adult classes come back in September. And I was like, why didn't I think that might be a possibility? I don't know. But I don't know. So I'm going to now try that too. So I'm like, maybe I'm going to get ballet at this kids competition studio and get ballet at this really good ballet studio for kids / also some adults. I'm like, this is kind of crazy. I mean, all of this is money, right? Like, even though it's a good deal, it's still $100 a month. And then, the really good ballet studio is going to be, I think it's like 21 or 22 a class, kind of like the normal price for a class in LA. So if I go to that like once a week for 4 weeks, they have they have 2 advanced ballet classes a week for adults, 1 intermediate, and then 2 called gentle ballet for adults. I don't think I want to go to gentle ballet unless I go to another one and then realize that I need to be in gentle ballet, but I don't really know what that means, but I don't want anything gentle. I want like the real thing, So I'm going to try the intermediate, but which is also on Wednesday, which I think is also when the kids competition studio ballet class is also going to be on Wednesday night. So I'm just going to be doing a lot of ballet on Wednesday unless I decide I want to do the advanced classes later, which I think are on Tuesday and Thursday. They're called intermediate / advanced, which I have taken ballet classes in that category before, but this is a really good ballet school. And I'm like, I don't know. But I mean, I have taken advanced classes at really good ballet studios before, and it is hard, but if you keep going, like, you get better. So if I decide that I want to take those, maybe I'll do those on Tuesday or Thursday. So I could end up taking multiple ballet classes a week, and that's a lot of money. So I don't know. We're in this experiment because I felt like God told me to take any dance classes I want and watch him provide for it. I am trying to do that. I'm trying to start doing that pretty soon here. And right now my money is in the positive, about $70. So we're going to see what happens. We're all on this experimental journey together, and we're going to see what happens. I feel like if I go into a bunch of debt for these classes and it doesn't seem like God is providing the money back, then I'm going to ask him like what he wants me to do. Like, do you want me to keep taking these classes? Is there another side job you want me to get? Is there something else, a creative way you want me to somehow pay for this? Like, I don't know. I'll obviously ask him, but for now, I feel like he's telling me to just go for whatever is in my heart to go for. And I really think that if I knew that really good ballet studio had adult ballet classes still, I think I might not have checked out that kids competition studio. I was just kind of desperate trying to figure out what I was going to do. And now I have like an additional really good ballet class plus other really good classes that are perfect for me. It's like all the styles I wanted to get better at. Hip hop. It's funny because like I'm not super into jazz funk lately. Like I used to be more into that. I used to take that very regularly, and it is fun. But lately I've been more into wanting to get better at hip hop, ballet, and tap has been in my heart to have been. I really wanted to get back into tap. And of course contemporary, which I always love, and regular jazz I really like. So it's just crazy that this studio that barely has any adult classes and has the best deal and is the closest to my house because it's literally 10 minutes away, has every style that I want and is taught by really good teachers. I'm like, God, you are crazy. I know you want me to go to the studio, so I just like know you're going to provide for it. And then we're going to try that other ballet studio and see if God is leading me to go there. It seems like he is, but we're going to check it out and see if that's the case. Oh my gosh, I feel like I have so much more to say, but like I have to go soon. This is crazy. And there's a person that's like jogging past my car. So awkward. He's so close to my car. He or she. I wasn't paying attention. Anyways, okay, so I'm going to try to tell the rest of this stuff like pretty fast because I have to leave in like 15 minutes because I'm actually going to this like Christian dance class my friend wanted to go to. It's this like Christian dancer that used to be a dancer in LA, and then God called her to start Christian classes in Texas, and now she's like touring the country with her Christian classes, and like it's super hyped up on social media. To be honest, like at first I was drawn to it, and then I was like less drawn to it because it was like so hyped up that it was like almost like pushing me away a little bit. But then one of my friends was like, do you want to come with me? And I was like, okay, sure, I'll go with you. So anyway, we're doing that today, but I have to drive over there and I need to leave here by like 2:45 and it's 2:30. So, okay, hopefully I can do this fast. So I wanted to say that I'm finally I made like all my doctor appointments. Like I didn't realize that I didn't fully realize that I had vision and dental included in Medi-Cal. So I'm in the Ventura County version of Medi-Cal now, which is called Gold Coast Health Plan. And I will say, I think it is easier than the one that I was on when I was in LA. So when my physical address changed, I automatically got changed to this like other version of Medi-Cal. And it's very easy. I feel like it's very easy to get a hold of them. It was very easy for me to make all these doctor appointments, like literally called to make a vision appointment and they got me in that day. That was crazy. And then I have a dentist appointment next week. I'm so excited. The dentist had good reviews. I've had bad experiences with dentists in the past. I paid out of pocket for my favorite dentist in LA last time I went like 6 months ago. So you guys might know that. I talked about that a long time ago. But I really have had some shady dentists in my life. So we're all praying that this is going to be a good dentist. They had good reviews. I'm going to them next week. I feel like out this way where I'm at, maybe there's less shady people. I don't know if that's true, but I just like get that vibe. And then I have an actual doctor appointment beginning of September. I would have had that sooner, except the one they assigned me to, because I never picked one because I put it off and then they just like assigned me to one. It had like kind of a good amount of bad reviews. So I found the better one that I could get in the area that had better reviews. So I had to like get it switched over, and then it takes like a month, or it takes till the next month to switch it over. So I have to go to that at the beginning of September. But yeah, I'm like, let's get all this doctor stuff done now, because when you're on Medi-Cal, everything is like free. Like prescriptions are free. Everything's free. Like if they find something super wrong with me and I need to get something crazy done, it's like usually free. So I feel like right now is the time to do it, because at some point I'm going to be making more money. I'm pretty sure. I have faith for that. And I'm going to have to get regular insurance. It's going to be expensive. And my roommate said, yeah, but like God's going to provide, he's just going to provide the money for that then when you get to that point. I'm like, yeah, that's true. It's like nothing to worry about. But I still think like, let's take advantage of this time when, like, not take advantage of it, but like, let's use the thing I'm getting. Like I'm getting all these free doctor appointments. Like, let's do it, you know? So vision appointment went well. My eyes are good. My prescription's just like a little bit stronger than the glasses that I have, which I thought that it was. I'm like, I think I need a little bit different prescription right now. So literally there was a whole section of like glasses I could pick for free. And it's funny because I was going through them and there was one pair I was mostly drawn to. And the woman that worked there really liked those on me too. And she kept being like, oh yeah, I really like those. I really like those. And so I thought, yeah, I think I like these the best too. But I had taken pictures of myself with all the glasses because I was going to like post on my Instagram if you saw that. And I went to my car and was sitting in my car posting, because like I always like to post stuff like right away as much as possible. I like it to be like timely. I like posting stuff. I don't do it because I feel like I have to for any reason. If I'm ever having a day where I'm not in the mood to post, I just won't post. Every once in a while, I know you probably think this never happens, but you may have noticed every once in a while, I just like don't post anything to my stories or don't post for a while, because like I don't actually feel a need like I have to do that. I just like doing it. I get joy. I have fun doing it, and I feel very compelled to do it. So most of the time I just like am doing it. Like I just want to do it. I get excited to do it. So I got in my car, started posting all the different glasses. And as I'm looking at these pictures, I'm like, wait, I think I don't really like the ones I just got. And I already like had her measure me, and like I gave her those glasses, and that's the ones they're ordering. It takes 4 to 6 weeks to get them. And I'm looking at these pictures and I'm still sitting in the parking lot and I'm like, I think I like these other ones better. Why did I not take these? I was like, oh my gosh, I've been now sitting in my car for like 20 minutes. Am I really going to go back in there and be like, any chance you can give me these glasses instead? I'm like the most annoying customer sometimes. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But I was like, I really think I like these better. So the ones I was gonna get, they were kind of a more like maroon color, and the frames were like a little bit larger. But the glasses I have right now, the frames are kind of large, and I do like them. But it's kind of like I already sort of have that style. Not exactly, but and my glasses right now are like really nice brand name, because that was back when I had insurance and like I was looking at all the expensive glasses. I also didn't really know how to get cheap glasses back then. I've only had glasses for like 10 years. I guess that's kind of long now, but I've always gone to the same glasses place this whole time, the same optometrist. I've always gotten glasses there. I didn't really know how to get glasses other places. Like I would ask them to give me the prescription so I could look cheaper places, but then I never really did, because I'm like, I want to try them on though. I don't really want to order them online because it looks so different when you put them on. But I know some places will let you try them on, like send them back and stuff, but that seemed like a lot of work. So I would always just get them at the doctor, because they'd be like, okay, your insurance covers this amount, blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so sad because my phone like stopped recording because it said that my storage was full, which is crazy. Like I just deleted so much stuff, so I don't know how that happened. Guys, I don't know what to do. It keeps not letting me record because I don't have enough iPhone storage. I'm trying to finish. I keep trying to delete stuff, and I'm going to try to talk really fast. So anyway, I went back into the optometrist office and I asked them if I could switch to the glasses I really wanted. And it was funny because the woman working there was like, she didn't really like the ones that I wanted. She was like, I feel like those kind of like make you look old, or I don't know if she said they make me look old, but she's like, that's kind of like for an old person. I feel like you look so young, like it's better. The other ones are better. And I was like, I don't know, I really like these. And she's like, well, I mean, if you like them, and I'm just trying to be this person lately where I just get stuff that I like and I don't really care like what's trending or what other people say they like. Like I really like the other ones. They were like a little more subtle, a little smaller. They were like more of a light pink, and it kind of blended into my hair more. And I just kind of wanted that. And it also felt like something different from the glasses I already have that kind of stand out more, which I like and I'll still wear sometimes. So anyway, I got the glasses that I wanted, have my dentist appointment coming up, my doctor appointment coming up. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to talk so fast because my phone is going to shut down. Anyway, I also wanted to talk about, there was so much to talk about still, but I've been wanted to talk about how lately I've been posting dance videos that feel like I don't look really great in them. Like my turns aren't really great and I'm like posting those videos anyway. Sometimes I don't want to post videos on Instagram where I look bad dancing. I mean, I don't think any of my videos are like super, super great, but there's definitely ones that I feel better about than others. But I often feel like I'm just supposed to post even the ones that aren't that great. Like once in a while, I really won't post something, but even the ones where I'm kind of embarrassed, where I'm like, I really had that double turn like the first 6 times we did this, but then by the end of class, my feet got sticky, I got tired, my turns looked bad, and that's when we did the video. And so now I'm going to post this video that makes it look like I can't do turns at all, and I like don't want to post it, but I sort of feel like God is like, just post it because first of all, like get rid of my ego, and second, like it's fun to take people on the journey. So like people are going to be more excited when you're getting better at something when they see like where you came from, and even if it looks like, oh, I'm getting worse right now or something. I just haven't been taking classes that do a lot of turns until recently, and so now it's like, oh my gosh, I need to get good at turns again. But I'm taking all these technique classes soon, and so I feel like it is going to get better, and so I'm able to post these videos where I feel like I look like a bad dancer because I think I have faith that like I am going to get better. So it'll be fun for all of us, including myself, to see that improvement. And if I don't post the ones where I'm doing kind of worse, like we won't see that improvement. And that's kind of what I like. That's kind of like what my Instagram is about, is like the growth. And that's not everybody's like thing. Like some people are just trying to book dance jobs. They need to post the best ones. And I completely get that. But for me, it's kind of like more about showing the growth. And so I had to get over my ego to like post some of those videos that I felt like were not that great. But sometimes I have days where I look at my videos and I'm like, man, all these are terrible. I hate all of my dancing. And then the next day I look at them again and I'm like, oh, these are all really good actually. Like, so sometimes it's just my mood that I'm in, and I have to like not do things just because of my mood. I have to be like, you know what? This is good enough. I want to show where I'm at. And it doesn't really matter. Who am I trying to impress? I'm not actually trying to book dance jobs right now. Like, I'm just trying to like take people on the journey. And because I have faith that it's going to get better, I think that's what helps me post where I'm at now. And I'm going to have faith to post this podcast. And now I'm like, do I have to get a new phone? Because like my storage is running out and I keep deleting stuff, but now it's like not working anymore and the storage keeps running out. So anyway, lots to pray about. Please pray for me and pray that God provides the money and everything. And then I really wanted to talk about the movie Cookie Queens because I just saw it, and this is the last thing I want to talk about, and I have to go. But Cookie Queens is a documentary about like Girl Scouts and brownies. I was a brownie when I was a little kid. That's like the thing before Girl Scouts. I don't know if there's 2 things before Girl Scouts or not, but it's like the one with like really little kids. I kind of hated it. I didn't really like brownies. I was in it for maybe like a year and then stopped. Like, one thing I remember about liking about brownies is it was when I tried my first kiwi, and I absolutely love kiwis. I do not know why I tried a kiwi. I just remember I was at a girl's house and they gave us kiwis, and it was the first time I ever had a kiwi, and it's a really good memory from brownies in my life. Brownies, which is like Girl Scouts. It's not an actual brownie that you eat. It's like you wear like a brown sash and you're called brownies, and it's like the thing before Girl Scouts. Girl Scouts, I think, is green. Why do I not know this when I just watched the Girl Scout movie? But I never got to Girl Scouts for myself. But anyway, I thought the documentary, I really like documentaries. Usually I used to be more into documentaries in the past than I am now, but like documentaries can be done really well. I will say that this movie, I think it was dragging for like the first half of it. It wasn't holding my attention. The trailer was so funny and good. I actually thought it was like a scripted movie the way the trailer was done, and it was like at Sundance, and I really like movies like that. So I thought I was going to really, really like this movie. I had an AMC gift card. I was really excited to see it. And oh my gosh, my phone cut out again because of the storage. I want to tell this story so fast, but like, yeah, I felt like the second half of the Cookie Queens movie, I really started getting into it and like really liking the characters. And I related so much to the girl who was the one who was like diabetic. Like, I'm not diabetic, at least so far. Like every time I test for that, I'm in the negative for diabetes. But okay, I just deleted more videos. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I was going to say I really could relate to the girl who can't really have sugar, not only because of that reason, because she can't really eat much of the actual Girl Scout cookies. She just tries to sell them, but she's also kind of like quirky, and she's not like all the other girls that have these like really high goals of like selling thousands of boxes and all this money they want to win. She just wants to sell like 55 boxes or something, and it's this like low amount, so she's not like this top seller like all the other girls, but you're still like really drawn to her story and where she's at and with her goal, even though it's like so much lower than everybody else's. And she just has this like cute little like heart and like faith about her, where she's like outside at one point selling cookies like out of a wagon. She's with her dad, and she's like, you know, at a park or at the beach or something, and it's like getting late and the sun is going down, and her dad's like, should we leave? And she's like, I just want to sell this one last box. And this lady all these people are passing by, and she keeps trying to ask people, and they keep saying no thank you and keep going by. And this one lady says, oh, not right now, but maybe later. And she keeps walking. And the dad's like, okay, should we go home yet? And then the girl's like, well, that one lady said later, so maybe we should stay because she might come back to get a box, and she said she might get it later. And her dad didn't want to like hurt her feelings, so he's like, okay, we'll stay a little bit longer. Oh my gosh, I ran out of storage again. Deleted more videos. But then anyway, somebody did end up buying the box she was trying to sell, and it was just like, she met her goal, and then she made a little bit higher goal for the next year. And it was just like so cute and fun to follow her story, even though she wasn't like this crazy like prodigy Girl Scout selling cookie person. And I was just like, and she had all these issues. And then she ended up making her own cookies that had less sugar that she made for herself, as well as for few other people she knew that like couldn't have sugar. And then she sold them for the same amount that she was selling the Girl Scout cookies, even though they were like homemade. She also sold a box for $6, just like the Girl Scout cookies. And it was so cute. And I really liked that storyline, and I really related to her, and just like how everyone's story is interesting and compelling, and like you don't have to be this like prodigy or like the best of the best of the best to have a compelling story and to like have goals to care about, or other people to support you or care about your goals or care about you. You can just be yourself and like go for whatever's in your heart, whenever God's put in your heart. So that's what I wanted to say. Anyways, oh my gosh, I hope I can piece this whole thing together with how much of a mess this was today. But anyways, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.